on a Mikan drill. So, Pete, you know this is a Mikan drill. This is when you have to go here, left, 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 go. Show step. Do it back. This is a Mikan drill, something you guys can see.
Thanks for your
This to me is probably my least favorite drill in basketball. I don't know, it's a mixture of this, 3-man weave, and the zigzag drill. But all those are there in drills I dislike the most. Yet, this is one of the drills we see the most in big man development workouts. But there is nothing in this drill which has anything to do with skill development. There's no situation where it happens. So what we're going to look at now is how we can take something like this and add evidence-based ideas with constraints to improve a traditional drill. Pete, pick a friend you want to play with. Anyone. Pick a friend. Bruno. Let's go, Bruno. Now, Bruno, I want you to stand like a statue. So you're going to be in the smile, and as Pete shoots, shoot your layup. You're just going to be big like a statue, but you're not trying to block his shot. You're just trying to be as big as you can. After Pete gets the rebound, you can move anywhere in the new spot, and you can shoot anywhere you want, and just be big like a statue, just like that. Show us that. Go. Keep playing. Keep going. Keep going. Defender. 3 types of defense in a small-sided game. Scripted, where the defense does the same thing every time, so we know what they're doing. Guided, which I'm going to show you in a second, or live, when we're competing, they can do whatever they want. So, especially my player development workouts, a lot of the stuff I do with my player there is scripted, guided, or live. Now, you can see immediately, just having a scripted defender there increases the challenge. Immediately, just by doing that. And again, different individual constraints will lead to different things. For instance, now I want to play defense. You stay right there, but you have 1 dribble you can use. So I want to play defense scripted like a statue. You've got 1 dribble you can use. Ready? Go. Oh, okay. But I want to do it, so you can only score the smile. Only in smile. Go. Beautiful. Rebound. Go. So you can see the role of individual constraints. Obviously I'm a lot bigger because I'm like 15 years older, but individual constraints lead to different things. How are we going to load this? So change roles. Change roles will be great. Now you've got 1 step you can take in front, and then you can step to a side, left or right. You can take 1 dribble if you need it, Bruno, or you can go straight up. You must score inside the slide. Go! Beautiful. Keep playing. Very good. Very good. Keep going. Keep going. Good idea. Good idea. Love that. Very good. Okay. Now, again, another way we loaded it, really simple, but we are getting repetition without repetition. This is a phrase that comes from Nikolai, and he was one of the early pioneers in neuroscience. And in 1963, Bernstein wrote about repetition without repetition. And yet in 2021, 90% of the practices we see do not apply that concept. We see repetition, 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 where every movement is the same. So what we want, and we can see this here, is we want them to get repetition. They've got to have time on task, and they've got to have a chance to experience success. But we want every repetition to be different. So it's very getting into our variable and random practice. And that's why I love the 2-on-2 that Fabian did yesterday when they went around the column. Because they finished 1 rep, and in 2 seconds the next short-sighted games is when it's 1 rep and change. Because you lose so much time as the players rotate. Offense, you can only use the net to finish. So you cannot use the backboard, you can only use the net. 4 reps, go! 1 dribble clean. Great solution. Great solution. Well, now we are adding some offensive constraints. Some limiting constraints on the offense. So the defense, we provide constraints on them in terms of how they can play defense, guide it. But now we're shaping learning on both sides of the ball. Going to be the same thing, Bruno, but you can only score using the backboard. So every shot, the ball must bounce off the backboard. Go, play. Oh, beautiful solution. Great creativity. Must use that backboard, must use that backboard. Oh, a fade. Very good, one more. And on. Good job. And this is the thing. The mistakes are good. We've got to develop that mindset of mistakes. Because when we come back to the 1-0 Mikan, where every rep is perfect, every rep is easy, there is no level of difficulty. They're not improving. So for the players, it's really important for them to develop a growth mindset. There's some pioneering work done on this by psychologist Carol Dweck, and she wrote a book on this about growth versus fixed mindset. So it's really important. We've got to tell the players, and this is the phrase Chris uses, good job making a mistake. So we've got to reframe the reps and actually take the mistakes as a positive thing. This is one of the hardest things my players this year find difficult. A lot of them come from traditional programs from across Europe, and they're not used to making mistakes, and they get really frustrated. So at this age group, it's so important that you reframe mistakes to shape that growth mindset. 30 seconds, if you want to wait, we can load this, coaches and players. Go. Repeat and run. Now, one way, sometimes my debriefs, instead of saying tell me, I just say show me. So you can show us one rule, show us what you came up with. Okay, what's the rule? Fantastic, you are allowed to block the offensive player. Amazing. So now we're moving on to much more of a live defender. You guys are killing it straight away. So we're going to say defense is the same. So you've got to take the one step, but you can block from your step. So you can't move after, but you're allowed to block. Offense, you've got your one dribble. Go! And what we can see at the same time is two-way teaching. We're teaching offense and defense. So now we're teaching defense how to defend the ball in the rim, at the rim. I call this a wall up, and this is really important, getting vertical. So a lot of the time I see youth players have no idea how to defend the rim. Pete's wall-ups are amazing. So what we talk about is we use an external cue. Stand like a skyscraper. Avoid the leaning tower of Pisa. So there's a lot of research which has been done on using external cues. As coaches over the years, a lot of the time we reference specific body parts. For instance, I want you guys to stand straight, put your arms up above your head, chest straight, legs straight. That's an example of an internal cue, when I'm telling them what to do with their body. And all the research indicates that the transfer of using those internal cues, the players actually be able to retain them is very limited. So whenever possible, we want to externalize feedback. So instead of focusing attention internally, can we give them an analogy or an external cue when they're not thinking about their body? So standing like a skyscraper is a good example of an external cue. For a defense, the same, you can only use your left hand to finish. Go. So what? Keep going.